Most ITE members are familiar with the term SHRP-2, the acronym for the Second Strategic Highway Research Program. But many might not know what outcomes to expect from this multi-million-dollar research initiative that was developed to address the challenges of moving people and goods efficiently and safely on U.S. highways. Today I'm joined by Kirk Steudle, Director of the Michigan Department of Transportation and Chair of the SHRP-2 Implementation Committee, to share his perspective on how the program is emerging from thought into reality and what the developments may mean for ITE members. Let's start with SHRP-2's large-scale focus on the integration of multiple fields of research and some technologies. It's really differentiated it from the traditional highway research programs that are more discipline-based. How do you see that affecting the outcomes to that research?
You know, SHRP-2 is the way it's currently set up is a reaction to the way transportation is done across the country anyways. Transportation now is very interdisciplinary. You can't do a project solely in one mode or within one silo, even within, say, the mode of highways. So one of the things that people will notice about SHRP-2 is that it is very broad-based. And it's not just highway research. It's dealing with reliability and safety and capacity and rapid renewal. It deals with a whole bunch of different things. I think one of the things that people will really see is it's more than just plan, design, build, and operate highways. It really is in a collaborative approach. It's collaboration between all the different disciplines that are out there, plus communities, and you're going to see a big piece in the community involvement in the collaborative decision-making process as well.
Now, it focuses on applied research in 4 areas. I want to make sure I get these: safety, renewal, reliability, and capacity. Are there some examples of how the research finding will benefit the ITE members as traffic engineer professionals?
You know, I think traffic engineers are going to see really a large potential database that will be created through the naturalistic driving study. As we look at SHRP-2, we put the most amount of money out of all 4 of those areas in the safety area. So this database that ends up getting developed will be the largest database ever of the technologies or the real naturalistic habits of a driver inside the vehicle and what are they doing as they're driving down the road. That will be data that will be beneficial for traffic engineers for decades to come. Now that's just on the safety side. On the reliability side, there's a whole bunch of just untapped resources so far on trying to get our arms around how do we make the system more reliable. And there will be lots of information in there for traffic engineers on the reliability section as well. And that's dealing with trip time reliability and making it a constant so that the operators of the network, wherever they're working at, can draw on those tools that come out of SHRP-2 to help provide their customers with better, reliable travel time information.
How might that change the way transportation professionals approach system management and operations?
You know, we talked a little bit about reliability, and that area is going to give a lot of tools to the operators of the transportation network. One of the things that SHRP-2 does is recognize that we've moved away from constructing the system, and a large portion of what we do as transportation agencies is operate the system. So the reliability aspect will generate a lot of new tools to enable DOTs and other agencies to provide more and consistent information to motorists. So the reliability piece is where I would encourage the viewers and the traffic engineers to go take a look at.
This research really promises to benefit the entire country in addressing some of the 21st century transportation challenges that we know we're going to be facing. But it's also going to reach bus riders, motorists, emergency responders, state and local transportation officials, really a broad spectrum. What types of tools and products do you see already coming out of this research?
You know, the whole SHRP-2 program was developed around the national goals of saving lives, renewing the highway system as the backbone of our nation's economy. But if you look at it another way, SHRP-2 has a community perspective as well. And it looks a little more holistic at the transportation network. And take a bridge, for example. the bridge that you drive over every day, and most people don't even realize they're driving over, is connected in so many different ways. Now, when we go to fix that bridge, we need to fix it as quickly as possible so that we minimize the amount of delay that the motorist has going over it. As we're taking into account what we do to that project or to that bridge, we need to minimize the risk, and we need to look at long-term solutions. Well, what do we put in place? Can we do things that last longer and are quicker to put in place? Some of the precast elements, can we use those so that we reduce the delay time as those projects are being built? So I think there's a lot of those that ultimately are going to provide very useful tools for state DOTs. And in the end, it's about eliminating or providing tools to help eliminate the delays that happen and make better decisions along the way that incorporate all of those other things that are in there, instead of just staying within one mode. If you stay just within, well, this is the best thing to do from a bridge design perspective or bridge construction, that works well, but what about all of these other pieces? And that's where the community comes in as well. We have to recognize that we're not designing things and building things in a vacuum. They are totally connected within a whole transportation network. And that's what SHRP 2 does, is really forces some of that together. And the research and the tools that are coming out are going to be able to help the DOTs and agencies across the country make better decisions.
Once you get into that process, how does that information and tools, how do those things get out to the ITE members? How is that going to reach them?
You know, that's a great question, because there's so much research that gets done that sits on a shelf, and frankly, our opinion has always been if it just sits on a shelf, we might as well not have done the research in the first place. So at SHRP 2, we've really taken an aggressive approach to that right from the beginning to try to figure out how do we talk about this? How do we get this information out into researchers' hands? So there's newsletters, there's the IT journal. I would encourage everybody to take a look at the SHRP 2 website. That is just full of information. And there's going to be a roster of speakers, like a speakers bureau, that we can send out all across the country to groups that are interested on the different subject areas that can go talk about the capacity area, the safety area, the renewal area, reliability, whatever it happens to be. We'll have those experts available so that they can go add that extra input as well.
Now, this SHRP 2 is scheduled to wrap up in 2013, but the implementation committee is not really waiting till then to get to work. What are some of the other things you guys are doing now to prepare for that conclusion?
Well, the interesting thing about SHRP 2 is, as we put the program together, there's some things that were real early into the process, and frankly, they're already popping out. So we've already got some sample specifications for railroad coordination and for utility coordination, pavement preservation of high volume roads, how you can do that quicker. There's procedures for assessing the impacts of reliability on the highway network. There is a web-based framework that's coming out that helps with the stakeholders and collaborative decision-making on large projects. So there's a lot of things that are already popping out, and I would encourage people to check out the website, because that's where those are at. And there's already early fruits being produced. They're going to continue all the way to the end, because there's some research that frankly is just starting right now. So again, I would encourage all the IT members to go to the website and check it out. There's lots of great tools, and as we go into 2013 and 2014, there's more coming and more on the way.
All right, lots of exciting things going on. Thank you, Director Steudle, for your insight into the SHRP 2 program. ITE will be publishing more information about SHRP 2 developments as they become available through the ITE newsletter and journal.